All right. Beautiful, beautiful. So in tonight's session, we are talking about acquiring your first multifamily property and then scaling to 10 doors in 12 months. I am your host, Miss Nikki Balogun, and I am the owner and broker of Platinum Key Realty. We have been serving customers all across Central Florida and in Georgia for over 20 years. So, with those knowledge and different scenarios that I have experienced, not only for myself, but for the people that I've served, I want to share that knowledge with you today because I'm helping somebody develop some cash flow, some passive cash flow that you can use in your life right now, and something that you can pass on to your children. Building that generational wealth is important to many of us because we know that it is a good thing to leave an inheritance to our children. So, we're going to talk about why multifamily. We have different types of real estate. We have single family, that's like a house by itself, it's separate. We have townhomes, those are normally attached and they come in a row. We have condos, we have co ops, we have different things, different types of properties. But a multifamily property, we're going to talk about why multifamily properties is a good thing to own. We're going to talk about your first deal. So, if everyone does not currently own investment real estate, we're going to talk about your first deal, what that looks like. And then we're going to talk about how to scale, some strategies to scale up to 10 doors. There's going to be a 12-month roadmap. So, if you have your pens and papers, it will be good. You can also do screenshots and you can save it for another time. And then we're going to round up with some tools and some resources. Okay? So let's get into it. Why multifamily? It's a diversified income. There's multiple tenants, so that reduces your vacancy risk. All right? Now picture a multifamily property. In this picture, it shows you like a building. You can have 2 units and from 2 units up. The 2 units is referred to as a duplex, triplex, fourplex, quadruplex, and then it goes on and on. So it's one property with more than one door, meaning it has more than one entrances where when you enter that property, it is a standalone unit or apartment for someone to live in. So that is what is considered a multifamily property. Why I love multifamily property? Because you only need one mortgage. No matter how many units are in a building like this one here on my screen, it's just one mortgage. And in that one mortgage, you're having multiple units that you can rent to different families and you can collect rent. So picture one single family house or condo. You can only rent that one place to one family. Only one family can live there. You can only collect one rent per month, and you're still paying one mortgage. But if you have a multifamily property, you're still paying one mortgage, but you're having multiple checks, multiple rental income coming in every single month. All right? So there's a lower cost per door to maintain these types of property because it's all together in one building. So whatever you'll be doing for a single family home, for example, if you're fixing the roof, if you're doing the landscape, it's still the same thing. It's still just one roof. It's still just one landscape. But yes, you're collecting multiple checks. All right? It's a faster portfolio to grow. You keep on acquiring units. It's much easier once you already have your multifamily property. And of course, there are tax benefits and savings for owning these types of properties. So step one is to assess your readiness. Assess your readiness. Define financial goals, cash flow versus appreciation. All right. What this means is when you're looking to buy any form of investment property, you have to think about your end goal. We titled this one, If You're Struggling with Cash Flow, right? This is a solution for someone who's looking for cash flow. But in general, when you're looking to buy investment property, you have to figure out if you're looking at cash flow. That means after you have paid all your expenses associated with the property, there is money left over for you to put in your pocket. That's cash flow. And then appreciation, that one means if you're buying a property and it's valued at 200,000 right now, in another year, it may now value 210,000. So it would have appreciated by $10,000. So then your money is in the value appreciation of the building. So this is saying define your financial goal. Is the cash flow more important to you right now? To have that cash flow coming in every single month, you need to make an extra 500, $2,000 every month from your properties. You need that cash flow to pay some bills, or appreciation is important to you. You want the property to appreciate over time so that when you sell it, refinance it, you'll have that cash bulk at one time. Now, having both is great, but also you can go for either or. Then you have to review your credit score. We're suggesting a target credit score of at least 620. 620. So for you to get your credit score, if you're watching me tonight and you don't have an idea of where to get your credit score, the fastest place that I know is Experian.com. If you go there, you can quickly have an idea of the range of your credit score. But what I want you to keep in mind that when you get the score on Experian, it's not necessarily the same score that the mortgage broker is going to see. All right, somebody is calling in our meeting. I will tell them they have to wait. I'll be right there. All right, let me see. Are you guys still seeing my screen? Are you seeing it now, guys? Emmanuel, good?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, beautiful. Sorry about that, guys. Everybody's calling now. We're live already. So I was talking about your credit score. You can go to Experian.com. You'll be able to see your credit score there. Keep in mind that whatever you're seeing on Experian or any site similar to it is not necessarily the score the mortgage broker is going to get just because they're running through their own systems for credit score. But it will at least give you an idea of where you're at if you don't know your credit score. Then where it says DTI, that means your debt to income ratios. The suggestion here is to have that under 43%. What is debt to income ratios? It's going to take all the debt that is currently on your credit report versus the amount of money you can prove in your income. All right, so the ratios between those two needs to be under 43%. And then you want to make sure that you have some kind of reserves. If you're looking to buy multifamily properties or any kind of investment property, It's very, very important that you have a contingency plan to carry that mortgage, carry that note. If there is any challenge or anything happening, you want to make sure you have at least 3 to 6 months in reserves. Now, if you're getting a loan, sometimes the bank wants to see this in your account. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to use it or withdraw it from wherever you have it, but they want to see an account statement somewhere where you have 3 to 6 months of reserves that they can use to qualify you for that mortgage. And there's a reminder here about our Facebook group, Mindset Equals Money. If you're not currently a part of our Facebook group for business-minded entrepreneurs, for real estate investors, you want to go ahead and look for that group on Facebook, Mindset Equals Money. Go ahead and join that group, and you have a lot of tips, a lot of things that you can use to grow and scale your business. All right, so that's Mindset Equals Money. Now, step 2, choosing your multifamily type. So we talked a little bit about the different types of properties, the single families, the townhomes, etc. Now we're going to talk about the duplex, the triplexes, and the quadruplexes. Okay? These properties, these three types that I just mentioned, they are easier to finance, much easier to finance because you can use an FHA loan. If you're familiar with mortgage financing, you know FHA loans are for people that are first-time home buyers. So if you currently don't own a property or you have owned a property previously, you may be able to qualify for an FHA loan for your multifamily property. Now, FHA loans are great because you can put down only 3%. Can you imagine owning a multifamily property with only 3% down? That is awesome. Of course, there are some different rules that goes along with it. I won't cover every rule in this particular training. If you want to learn more, you can always book a one-on-one appointment with me. I'll be happy to discuss some of these things further. But an FHA loan can be used to purchase multifamily properties. And then you have your conventional loans, which normally carry about 20-25% down. Sometimes you can find it as low as 10% or even 15% down. So these two types of loans are very, very easy to work with if you are purchasing duplexes, triplexes, or quadruplexes. Okay? Then some of these properties are turnkey. They have immediate cash flow potential and they have existing management in place. What does turnkey mean? The property already has tenants in it. So if you're purchasing it and you're taking it over, there is not that much to do to start making money because it already has tenants in some of the units if it's not fully occupied. Now, larger complexes, 5 or more units, require a commercial loan. It does have higher down payments, but there are so many things you can do if you are ready to take the plunge and buy properties with 5 or more units. I would suggest here that you can go to our YouTube channel or Platinum Q Realty YouTube channel and you can look up how to start your limited liability company, how to get that registered, and then use it to acquire funding to purchase real estate. We have done those types of training before. So go to our YouTube channel, Platinum Q Realty, and you'll be able to find trainings on how to do that so you can have larger deposits. you can have larger deposits and be able to acquire 5 or more units. All right? Now you have, let me see, it says owner occupied house hack. Okay. So it still wants me to tell you a little bit about that FHA loan. Now, for multifamily properties, if you are doing a duplex, a triplex, or a quadruplex, and you don't own any real estate, right? And this is your first property, and you're looking to buy a multifamily property, the hack is you approach it as if you're buying your primary residence using that FHA loan with that 3.5% down payment. So you will live in one of the units, and that will be your primary house. And then you can rent all the other units out and you'll collect that income. The great thing about this is those units, if they're currently rented at the time that you're buying the property, those income will go towards your income in qualifying for that property. Isn't that an awesome hack? So if you have no property, what I do for my children that are young adults, for them coming up, if they want to go buy a house, I'm highly, highly suggesting that they use this hack in purchasing their first property. So there you go. That's your gem for tonight. One of your gems. So step 3, doing the market and neighborhood analysis. Okay? Doing the market and neighborhood analysis. It's so very important that when you're jumping into this game of real estate investing, you learn how to use your tools and you learn how to do research. You want to know how to look up rental rates. Okay? So what I would do is go to like Zillow or one of these sites where, rental properties, apartments are listed for rent. Check out the zip code. Check out the neighborhood that you're looking to purchase in to see what they're asking for rent. And then you should be able to see how much those units actually rented for. So you have an idea of what the rental rate is. Then you want to check out the vacancy. You can find vacancy by looking at how long a property in that particular zip code or area has been sitting for rent on whatever site you're looking at. You can also call your real estate professional and you can ask, what is the vacancy rate for such and such an area or zip code? But if you want to do it yourself, just go on to any of these sites that has rental properties and look there. How long this property was listed on this day and it's still showing active. And I've seen 3 or 4 units like that. So you kind of have an idea of how long it takes to rent a property. You kind of have an idea of these types of things. Then you want to look into the job growth. You want to see what is coming to the area. Is there any major employment coming to the area? And what's the demographics in terms of family structure, in terms of income structure for this particular neighborhood? Then it has tools like the MLS, which the realtors and the real estate agents use. It says LoopNet. You have Zillow, Realtor.com, all these different types of sites that can give you a lot of data in regards to the property you're trying to buy, the neighborhood, and what's going on. Then it tells you here you want to do a 1 mile, 3 mile, and a 5 mile radius, okay, around your property. So when you look at it on the map, you want to go out a mile, 3 miles, 5 miles to see what's going on. All of these things will affect your property's cash flow and it will affect the appreciation. So take some time to get that research done. Now, step 4, financing your first property. Show me the money, honey. Where is the money for me to buy all these amazing properties that I'm looking at? So it tells us the conventional loans range from about 25% down payment. FHA, is 3.5% down. Then VA, the VA loan for the veterans is 0% down. So if you're a veteran, you can buy your multifamily with the same hack I showed, being using it as your primary residence, one of the units, and you can buy it 0% down as a veteran. Then you have hard money lending. So hard money lending is you have money brokers that lend money to purchase real estate. The interest rates are a little bit higher than usual, and they do carry points, but these loans are mostly for short-term projects. It's not recommended for a long-term project. It's a short-term project. So hard money loans are also available. Okay. So your tip here is to secure your pre-approval with an investment savvy lender. So if you currently don't have one, we do have our in-house lenders that works with our investors. So if you need a referral, we'll be happy to refer you to one of our preferred lenders. All right. Then we're going to step 5. Hopefully everybody's tracking. Step 5, you will have the opportunity to ask some questions at the end. So if you have a question, just jot it down so I can do my best to answer those questions. So we're going to do due diligence and underwriting. Okay? Due diligence and underwriting. So we're going to work on the financials, verifying your income and expenses, reviewing the rent roll, and examining the pro forma. Okay? So when you're looking to buy a multifamily property, what it's telling you here, you got to examine the financials. So if the previous owner has any accounting software they're using where they can generate these kinds of reports for you, if they're using a property management company, that company can give you these types of reports. Also, if they are filing tax returns, you can ask for the tax returns so you can see these types of things which are listed on the owner's tax returns. Then we get into the physical inspection. Highly suggest that you hire a qualified home inspector, someone who knows what they're doing, someone who has the time to go through every piece of that building to let you know if there's anything going on that is of concern. So this is not a step that you should go cheap on or try to eliminate or say, I will check the building myself, unless you're very qualified to do this. And then you want to build budgeted repairs. So these types of things you can negotiate it in your offer, or if you're doing an as-is deal, you want to be able to have an idea of what these things are going to cost you, because you would have to take care of it after the transaction closes. Then I have legal review. All right. So here in Florida, we do use title companies. We don't use real estate attorneys as most states. In Georgia, we do use a real estate attorney. Whatever state you are currently in, find out how it works and who is there to check the title, the zonings, and making sure that the property is in compliance. There is no open violations. There is nothing there that will give you a problem. Okay? So you want to do a legal review on your property before closing. And if you're tying up this deal with a contract, make sure it's in your contract that you're going to do these checks. And if these checks come back with anything, the owner may have the opportunity to fix it. But if it can't be fixed, you can walk away from this deal and you can get your money back. All right? You want to make sure you have all of these things in a checklist so that you don't forget any step. So this is a great section to take a screenshot, or if you're taking notes, you want to jot these things down. All right, step 6, the offer and the closing. So the offer structure for earnest money. Earnest money is your deposit. It is your good faith deposit that says, I'm making this offer, I'm giving you this money, and this is my commitment that I'm going to go through all the steps that it takes to successfully purchase this property. So the earnest money can be anywhere between 1 to 2% of the offer price, keeping in mind that you can use the earnest money to negotiate. So if you know someone else is bidding on this property and you want to show the owner that you are serious about this property, you can negotiate using the earnest money. You can bump it all the way up to 5%, depending on, how much cash you have available. If you put 5% down, believe me, that seller is going to know that this person is serious. Now, keep in mind, for your earnest money, you want to make sure in your contract, all the things we mentioned are there. The contingencies are there, because if you don't have them there, you run a very big risk of losing your earnest money deposit. Then it speaks about inspections and financing contingencies. So your contracts can be contingent upon that inspection, contingent upon financing. Now, if you're writing an offer without contingency, you want to make sure that some of these things are absolute. So you can use contingencies to negotiate your contracts, to make your contracts a little bit more appealing if you're trying to, make your offer stand out. Now, negotiation tips. It says leverage inspection findings and flexible closing dates. So it's giving you some additional tips here. So inspection findings you can use to leverage. So if the inspector comes back and there are several things that's happening with the property, you can definitely use it to negotiate. You can have flexible closing dates so that it meets the seller's needs. These are different ways in which you can negotiate your contracts. Then it talks about closing costs. You should estimate your closing costs anywhere between 2 to 5%. I will take it all the way up to 6% of your purchase price. You want to estimate your closing costs somewhere in that range so that when you're getting ready to close on this property, you have enough cash to close. All right. So let's go over the things that you need. You're going to need money for your down payment, your deposit. You're going to need money, upfront money for your inspection. And then if you're doing an appraisal for your mortgage, you're going to need money to pay for that appraisal upfront. So that's earnest money deposit, that's your home inspection, and your appraisal. Then the fourth thing, you're going to need money for your closing costs. So the closing costs are the hard costs if you're purchasing this property with a mortgage, plus any kind of taxes, insurance, different things that are customary when buying real estate. Then you're going to have, if you have a loan that carries additional down payment, remember we're only offering 1 to 2%. Say you did an FHA loan, it's 3.5%. That extra 1.5%, you would need to have it at closing to go with your closing costs, right? If any of these things are not clear, remember, you can always book a complimentary call with me for about 15 minutes, and I'll be able to explain any of these terms in details with you. I'll share that link towards the end of the presentation. Now, it talks about post-closing, right? It talks about securing insurance, different types of insurance to cover multifamily properties. This insurance is different from title insurance, and it's different from property insurance. You have general liability insurance, all these other types of insurance that is recommended if you have a multifamily property. And then you can open a bank account for this specific piece of real estate. Now, step 7, property management foundations. So now you know if you have a multifamily property, you're going to have tenants, and you have to learn how to take care of your tenants. So it starts off by talking about the inspection protocol and your checklists. And one of the things on these checklists is your tenant screening. So you want to make sure that you have a platform that runs credit checks, criminal checks, income verification. These types of things are handled in your tenant screening. So Zillow and TransUnion, all these platforms have tools for independent landlords to be able to screen their tenants. And I think we do have a property management playbook. I don't know if Emmanuel is there. You can drop the link somewhere, maybe in the chat, so they can pick up a copy of the property management playbook, which goes over some of these things and helps you to learn how to manage the property by yourself. So if you don't want to hire someone to do it for you, you can pick up this property management playbook that I wrote to be able to teach you how to manage your property on your own. Then you think about rent collections. How will you collect the rent? Are you going to do it the old-fashioned way, go around and collect? Are you going to let them Zelle you, or you're going to get fancy and get an online portal so that you can automatically withdraw the rent or charge that card, however it is? Then you want to think about maintenance. Yes. If the toilet is broken, what's going to happen? If these things are going on, what's going to happen? So there's platforms called Buildium. That's what we use in our property management business to be able to manage the workflow. Okay. So if you're currently looking to buy investment property or you already own, we do also have a full service property management department, and Emmanuel can drop that link as well. So if managing your property on your own is a little bit scary, you can let the professionals take care of it. So you can drop the link to the website and you can take a look at that as well. All right, so here we go. Strategy number 1. We're getting into it now. I'm excited. I wish I had some music. I'm excited. Strategy number 1. Remember, we're talking about getting 10 doors in 12 months. How to do it. We covered all the foundational stuff. Now we're getting into the strategies to acquire these properties. All right, strategy number 1. It's called the BRRRR method. Buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. So you buy that first piece of real estate, you renovate it, you rent it out, you refinance it, and then you repeat. So that's the first strategy. You leverage your equity. You do a cash out refinance when everything is stabilized, and then you're able to acquire the next property. The next property. So that's the BRRRR method. Number 2, it's talking about partnerships and syndications. So remember that the first one, you did a cash out refinance. The industry term is cash out refi. So you did that. This one now is telling you you can partner with somebody with capital to be able to buy more doors. So you're going to negotiate the splits, right? You're going to be able to negotiate the splits. How are you going to split it with whomever is giving you the money? Since you're doing all the hard work, maybe you want to take the bigger cut. That's my suggestion. And then the person that's bringing the money, they take the smaller cut, but that's totally up to you. So you can raise equity also, and you can get sponsorship. So you can have a group of people come together and you guys can put money together and say, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to have. Okay? So you can take a screenshot of this and let's go over to strategy number 3. So this one is called a 1031 tax exchange. So a 1031 tax exchange is a nice little secret. Once you have a property that you want to sell and you want to transfer the proceeds from that property tax-free into a bigger property. So this is called a 1031 tax exchange. You can take a screenshot or you could write that down as strategy number 3 so you can learn more about a 1031 tax exchange. The next one is creative and private financing. How about seller financing? Asking the seller to carry the mortgage. How about that? Negotiating the down payment and the terms and discussing the interest terms. So can you find a seller that really wants to get rid of their property or they're using it as a retirement vehicle? So not all the time someone who is willing to do seller financing, there's a problem. They can just want to receive a check every month. They can just want to receive a check every month instead of having all that cash upfront at one time. Then they have bridge loans, which is short-term funding. That's like the hard money lending and those types of things where you acquire that money to be able to secure the property, but immediately you're going to find a more permanent solution to be able to have a better rate, a better long-term financing structure. Then it talks about private lenders. You have lenders, all they do every day is finance real estate deals. They are looking to partner with people like you, private lenders, to give you money to buy real estate. So that's strategy number 4. All right, so we're going to transition now into scaling. All right, so the first property you own builds foundation. Now, what you have to realize in this game of real estate, the more property transactions you have under your name or your company, or you can prove that you have been involved in, it's the better for you to get repeat funding. Even if you're working with a hard money lender, sometimes they want to see how experienced you are at doing this. So you have to get your first one done so you can start getting that experience. And the experience helps you because they will lower the interest rate. They will even lower the down payment required because now they see you know what you are doing. So get started with your first piece of property. It's very, very important. Okay? All right, let's get into this a little bit more. Let's go a little deeper. It says building a deal pipeline, and systems. All right? So finding the deal. How do you find the deal? It's talking about looking for off-market properties and sending them a letter. Where it says direct mail it's just sending them a letter, reaching out to them. I remember when I used to do a lot of land. I used to invest in vacant land a lot. And that's exactly what I would do. I would be sending letters to Puerto Rico, to London, to Spain, not only the US, wherever the owner lives, I would send a letter. And there's different tips and tricks to cause someone to open your letter. Got to know these types of things. So I mailed a lot of letter. Now, don't mail one or two letter and think you're going to get a response from one or two. No. You have to consistently mail letters. So I would be doing like 500 letters a month. Different things like that. 500 letters consistently a month to be getting deals. Then other wholesalers. So like us here where I live in Central Florida, we do have local real estate investment groups. So you go there, you mix and mingle, and you say, hey, dude, what's going on? What's for sale? Anybody have any deals that they need help with, or they're looking for someone to take over? So other wholesalers are good to be able to find other deals. Then RIAs are just other organizations where you can become a part of to get deals, real estate deals. Then it talks again about the underwriting process, being able to have your templates of how you're going to analyze your deal to make sure you don't lose money. Who wants to invest in real estate and lose money? We're here to make money, not lose money. So you have to make sure you have all your checklists, your spreadsheets, if you're using a software, to be able to plug your numbers in and get the results to see, is this a good deal? And please don't buy anything based off your emotion. Oh, I just feel it in my gut. I feel it. No. Numbers don't lie, and numbers don't have emotions. So you want to make sure that you are doing the numbers and you are executing based off the numbers, not off your feeling or emotion. Okay? Then it talks about your contact management system. If you are going to have 10 doors in 12 months, you have to be operating like a professional, guys. You have to take it to the next level. You got to have a database of people that you're going to follow up with in terms of, okay, this person said they want to sell their property, but they're not quite ready right now. I'll give them 3 months, 6 months, and I'll follow up. And if you have a system that follows up for you, that's a great idea. So that's a contact management system. We use Go High Level. Okay? Then it talks about getting your team together. Who is your attorney or your title company? Who is your home inspector? Who is your mortgage person? Who is your real estate person? You got to have a team. And if you need any repairs, who is your electrician? Who is your plumber? Who is your contractor? Different types of things. You want to make sure that you have your team together. Now, here is the 12-month roadmap. If I were you, I'd be screenshotting this right now. It says the first month to 2 month is your first acquisition. It even tells you set up your LLC, get the pre-approval, and close on your duplex. So that's 2 doors. Then in month 3 to 4, you use the BRRRR cycle. renovate, lease, refinance the first property. So that's this up here. You're going to do that. And then you're going to cash out. And then you're going to come here month 5 to 6. And you're going to get the next acquisition. And you're going to deploy the refinance proceeds into this deal. Then 7 to 8, month 7 to 8, you're going to do some equity raising. You're going to pitch partners and secure some crowd financing, get together some people, because now you have a track record. You have three properties under your belt, whether they're duplexes, triplexes, however you did it. You have a few doors under your belt, so you can say, hey, look what I've done so far. Do you want to partner with me? Do you want me to show you how to have some cash flow? Then in months 9 to 10, you're going to get some more deals because now you raised some more down payments. And then in month 11, it says you're going to do 5 to 9 doors. And you're going to use a mix of financing, grants, and private debt. Okay, I hope you're taking a screenshot or you're writing this down. And in month 12, you're going to get the 10 door, your final closing, your portfolio review, and your matrix. So there you go. So that's the 12-month roadmap to getting 10 doors. And guys, the biggest hurdle is just to start. The biggest hurdle is going to start. Remember, when you're getting this first property, there's many ways you can do it. You can buy your first property, as we said, with an FHA loan. If you can come up with an idea to use one of those units as your primary residence. You can also set up your LLC, and you can use your LLC to purchase real estate. That means your credit doesn't really matter, or your income doesn't matter. If you're going to cause the property, there is a type of loan where the property can qualify for the financing. Okay, the property can qualify for that financing, but you run it through an LLC. Then once you get going, you'll have a property or two that you can now buy something, renovate it, lease it out, refinance, and cash out, and then you do it again. And that's how you start. And once you have the proof, I've started, I've been successful, believe you me, it's going to be so easy to get partners to be able to put hands together with you so you can start buying more doors. So you can buy more doors. All right. So here are some places that you need to know about: LoopNet, Zillow, your local MLS. They have Bigger Pockets Calculator, Excel Pro Formas, Buildium, Appfolio, QuickBooks Online. These are some things, some places that you need to know as a real estate investor, where you can quickly go and get the tools you need to be successful. Okay? So here's your action step. You're going to schedule a call with your lender. Remember, if you don't currently have a lender that works well with investor type properties, you can book a call or send us a message, and we'll be able to contact you. We'll be able to get you in contact with one of our preferred lenders. All right? You're going to map out your own 12-month journey. How are you going to get this done? And then this is a nice link for you to have. If you want to book a one-on-one complimentary with me at any time, it's calendly.com/Nikki Balogun. You can go ahead there and write that link down, book a strategy call, make sure you have your questions together so we can go through it together and I can give you some insights. Then if you are not a part of our Facebook group, it's here again, Mindset Equals Money. I'm telling you, we're dropping gems in that group and you should be a part of it so you can grow and scale your business. All right. And as I round up tonight, for those who are in the business of becoming that successful entrepreneur, whatever it is you want to do, we have our 4-week coaching program coming up on August 7th. And if you go to Mindset Equal Money, you'll be able to learn more about this coaching program. Become a part of it. It's going to be a 4-week coaching program. We're going to meet once a week on Zoom. You'll be able to get your toolkit workbook and we'll work through it together. So whatever you want to do, if you have a product, if you have an idea, if you have a dream that you want to get that thing up and running, you want to see it come to pass, you want to look at it and say, this is what I have created. It happened. I'm telling you, this program is for you. MindsetEqualMoney.com. So I think that's it for tonight's program. We have successfully concluded, and I see a lot of things in the chat here. Let me see if I can go back and get some questions. Let me put on my glasses so I can see very well. Okay. I think Clive said, what sort of credit or other reports are run on a brand new LLC without the benefit of being established? So Clive, for your question is, when you're using your LLC to purchase, they're not going to run a credit check on the business per se. What they're going to do is, if you're talking about using your LLC to buy the property, they are going to use the property itself to qualify for that loan. If you're talking about just having your LLC where you can use that LLC to get funding and then you have the cash to be able to go forward. Emmanuel, I think you're still there. Drop the link for Clive to get the bundle, the credit bundle. I think it's newdaybundle.com. And so we do have a workbook for LLCs. If you want to go ahead and fund your LLC, I think I have a copy here of it. Let me see. It's here. So this is what it looks like. It's a very, very thick workbook about funding your LLC. So this will guide you through how to structure it if you don't already have one, and all the steps that it's going to take for you to build up that LLC so you can really get some good funding with it. Very good, very well written, and all the research and all the links are there. So you can check the chat, Clive, to be able to access that.
Sure, thank you. So you're saying once you have an LLC, you can use that to purchase a property, even though it's a brand new LLC, as long as the numbers work for that property.
Yeah, so there's a particular loan that goes to purchasing properties with your LLC where they use the property itself to qualify for the loan. So if you have a good mortgage broker that works with investors, you can ask them about it. If not, you can use one of ours.
Okay.
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 Yes. And then if you want to build up your LLC, and you can do it by yourself, it's not hard. You don't have to pay anybody to do it. Just get the workbook and follow the workbook, and it will tell you step by step how to do, so you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars with your LLC.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
That's gonna be in the chat.
In the chat.
The
Let me
link.
see if Emmanuel dropped it. Emmanuel, did you drop it yet? I think it's newdaybundle.com. All right, I think that one is it. newdaybundle.com. That's to
Thank
get
you.
that book. Wonderful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it. If you want to book the one-on-one, you go to calendly.com/Nikki, Nikki, Balogun, Balogun. You can go there and book a call free. I'd be happy to answer any question you have, anything that I can do to help you grow and get to the next level. I really love doing this. I enjoy it. I don't mind. Just schedule it. Just make sure you have your questions together so that we can get to it and I can get you the help you're looking for. Every single month, we do some type of training like this. It's our monthly grow event. The link to register is always the same, platinumkeyevents.com. Go ahead, make sure you subscribe to our social media platforms and check us online. And if you have any questions, reach out. Until next month. Bless you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.